And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Tuesday, December 13th. I'm Josh Engleman, and I'm here to break down a five-game NBA slate on a Tuesday. That's a real NBA slate for a Tuesday. I don't know what we did to be so lucky, but we got it today. So if you're here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. You get me for the strategy show today. You get me for the deeper dive as well. You get a lot of me. So I hope you're ready for it. It's going to be a good Tuesday. Good to have everybody here. Good morning. Good morning. It's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to talk basketball. I did not play yesterday's slate, which I'm not mad about, but kind of wanted to. And then everything started happening, and I was like, ooh, glad that I didn't register. I was sitting around and then ran some errands, came back, went to the gym, and I realized at that point that I had not registered yet. And I was like, oh, I cannot get into the contest that I was looking to get into any longer. So sat out last night. Probably a good thing. Long day. Very long day. But we're on to the next. And certainly playing today's slate. 5 gamers. Can't pass up this one. I don't like the start times for all of these games. I wish it wasn't so spread out, but leaves you a lot of time for late swaps if you need to do it. So, without further ado, I think we're going to get into it because I am incredibly excited to drink some coffee. Did not sleep well last night at all. So, this is going to be the little boost that I needed. And the faster I get it into my body, the faster I can do a better show because I'm quite confident I'm going to be stumbling all over all of this one. So, I've got my coffee. I hope you guys do as well. If you don't have a coffee, if you've got a tea, sure. Water. I wish that I had a water with me right now. That's something that I probably should have brought back up to the desk. Feel wildly dehydrated, so top that off with some coffee, really make it good. Coffee, tea, water, beer, whatever you got this morning. Crunch Wrap would be on point for today. Don't be afraid to do that one. Sausage McMuffin with cheese would be the better option, in my opinion. But whatever you got, cheers to you guys. Rise and grind, everybody. It's about that time. Let's get it started. Clink. Let's do it. Oh, yeah, that's going to work. That's going to work. Shout out to BetMGM for being the sponsor. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Does Argentina win today? I honestly don't even care who wins the rest of this. I think it's kind of fun regardless. I think it'd be really fun to see France go back to back. I think Morocco winning, I mean, that storyline is amazing. Croatia winning, comparable, honestly. Similar storyline. And then Argentina obviously getting one for Messi. Like that, I don't really have an issue with anybody. Obviously, I think France Argentina is like the most high profile matchup you're going to find in that, you know, you get Messi's last stand against the reigning champs, but I'm happy to see anything. I just want to watch good soccer. So let's change up the screen quickly. Bang, bang. And let's talk some baloncesto. Sacramento Kings, 5.5-point dogs in Philly. 228 total. For Sacramento, Q-tag on De'Aaron Fox, who has missed the past 2 games, which is pretty annoying for a day like today. However, other than that, everybody's available. And given that, I don't really have any Sacramento rate changes to make. I had Fox in on Friday. Ultimately didn't play. I didn't play on Sunday. So I didn't have any updates that I needed to make for Sunday. Also Q-tag again. So this rotation is still the same. You know, obviously we're going to get to Davion Mitchell if Fox ends up out. But I don't really see anything that I want to change for this team. You know, maybe an extra minute for Harrison Barnes. Like, I can massage the bench a little bit here, and I think that'd be fine, but not by much. Get Trey Lyles in over KZ Okpala, but I'm fine with 23 minutes on Monk. I'm fine with 26 on Murray. Maybe I make that 27. 31 for Harry B. Sort of. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't have any other changes I want to make here. Big minutes for Sabonis, big minutes for Fox if he plays. I got 33 for Fox. You got 32 for Herter. That all seems fine if Fox is in. Oddly like if Fox is out, we know what to do, but if we're projecting him in, then we also very easily know what we want to do. Philly, still got about another week or two before we get Tyrese Maxey back. Daniel House is in for this one, which means this is a pretty standard Sixers rotation. Now I have Harden in for 36 minutes. Could play a little bit more, but I don't want to go that way. 35 for Embiid. It's really hard to go higher than that. 35 to Tobias Harris. That works. I have got Melton in for 31. I'm more than okay with that one. Shake's minutes have come down, obviously. PJ Tucker playing a little bit more as of late, but that's also with, 2 games without George Niang and 2 games without Daniel House. So I think I'm okay with 29 PJ Tucker minutes. I also don't want to think about that at all. Korkmaz. Oh, looks like they went back to Harrell over B-Ball Paul. So I'll flip-flop those two guys. Get some minutes going to Thibault. Not a lot here for me, assuming Daniel House is in. First game's really easy. Like, really easy. I mean, zipped through those rotations. Let me take a sip quick. John Johnson, you don't want this sheet. It would be useless to you. But no, it's not available. It wouldn't. It would be a dead sheet to you in a day. There's references in here to other workbooks. It's attached to my SQL database to pull in my model. What you see might look good, but it's all like most of this wouldn't exist if I didn't do shows. It only exists so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But I could give this to you right now, and you would be very unhappy that you had it or that you paid for it, because it wouldn't mean anything to you after a day. 11-7 for Joel Embiid is a pretty healthy price tag on a 5-game slate, but he's also probably my favorite Philadelphia play. James Harden, I think, is appropriately priced at 9,700 on both sites. If you want to play Tobias Harris, you probably want to do it on DraftKings. At FanDuel, 7,300 isn't as appealing. DeAnthony Melton, your other option, 6,300. I mean, he's playing the minutes. That's sort of the upper bound of his price tag. There's just not a lot to like for Philly, which isn't all that surprising, even though it is a great matchup. On the Sacramento side, if De'Aaron Fox is in, they look kind of like they always do. If you want to get to Sabonis for 8,800 power forward center on FanDuel, I think that's a pretty decent play. 1.25 fantasy points per minute. That looks good. Fox for 8,400 will be fine, but there are no clear-cut, no doubt about it priorities on either site for Sacramento. Sabonis is interesting, though. Next up, Golden State Warriors. 4.5-point dogs in Milwaukee, 227 total. Or Golden State. Still no Wiggins. Draymond is probable. Iguodala, shockingly, still out. Can't believe he's not back yet. But no Iggy once again. Last time I ran this was Wednesday when all of their dudes were out. Didn't play Saturday, so we got to rebuild this one with no Andrew Wiggins. So first of all, we're going to get Steph straight away into 36 minutes. We're going to get Kevon Looney straight away into 24. I get Draymond in for 33? Yes, John, always Fantasy Cruncher since the moment it existed 8 years ago. I would never not use an optimizer, or I would build one myself. All right. I assume who started Saturday? Saturday the 10th. They went, okay, so it's just Poole. No weird staggering either. Although I guess Poole won. Weird. Very weird. I guess we're getting 32 minutes out of Jordan Poole, right? Yeah, not selected. You're not going to sound great right now. But today's not the day you want to go on this journey. Just a comically terrible take. All right, Clay's going to be in for 35 minutes. Final question, who's getting the rest of these minutes? So DiVincenzo really just seems to be locked into like 20 minutes. And then you would expect more minutes out of Anthony Lamb, but that just doesn't seem to be happening. Kuminga, I think we could probably go to something like 22. And then JaMychal Green is like right around 10, 12. So 10. You can get Anthony Lamb to 15, maybe 16. That leaves me 13 extra minutes for, I guess, Moses Moody. That'll work. I don't think rates need to change, but I might as well grab them. Oh, no, I have them for those guys off from Wednesday, so they absolutely need to change. Never mind. That makes it easier. So let's take Andrew Wiggins off. That'll be pretty easy. And then we also want to make sure that these are games that everybody else played. So Steph, Clay, Draymond, Poole also played. Actually, I should leave Poole off of that. It won't matter. Can I get that for started? Is that just going to be 3 games? Yeah, that's what I thought. Played in game. That's what we need. All right. So not a ton of minutes here. Jordan Poole's obviously going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to hit on Poole last. Curry, right around a 30% usage rate when Wiggins is off. Clay, it's at like 26.5. Give him that slight bump. Kevon Looney shouldn't matter at all here. And doesn't. Nor should Draymond, honestly. Although he might. No, he don't. So then we just need to lock in Jordan Poole. So when at least one of Steph or Clay is on the floor, and Poole is on. So when he's playing alongside at least one of the main dudes. Jordan Poole's played 452 minutes in those scenarios, 23% usage rate. So, I don't want to go that low, but I will go to like 24. You know what? Actually, let's set him at 24.5. I'm going to leave that. I think we're good here. So I think that's what we're going to go with for Golden State. Let's look at the Milwaukee side now. So rarely get Golden State. I'm anxious to see it. Drew Holiday, questionable, non-COVID illness. Chris Middleton is probable. Wes Matthews off the injury report. Don't think that matters. Too smooth. Draymond's probable, so you don't have anything to worry about there. Not something that I would look into. All right, so like Milwaukee's rotation, I guess, is just going to be what it is. I mean, we don't know the Drew news, so we're leaving Drew in for his chunk of minutes. We're leaving Giannis in for... I guess I should bump these guys up a little bit. I'm going to go to 35 on Drew. I'm going to go to 34 on Giannis. I don't appear to be playing Serge Ibaka. Grayson Allen plays like 28 minutes a game. Brook Lopez plays 31. Bobby Portis's minutes have been coming down a little bit. Got back up in this last one. Get him back up to 24. But 28 for Grayson Allen seems fine. 22 for Javon Carter seems better. Take one away from George Hill. Get him up to 20 at least. I got Pat Connaughton in for 22. That works. Got Middleton in for 30. I guess I need to go a little bit higher than that. Running out of places to get minutes, though, from Milwaukee. But I think we got to get Chris Middleton at least a 32. I'll take another 2 away from George Hill since he won't matter. Rates won't change. So game number 2, done. Definitely want to watch this one tonight, too. I mean, Golden State, Milwaukee at basically full strength. No Wiggins is the only piece, at least as of right now. Pretty hard to not like Chris Middleton today on DraftKings at 6K, assuming he's playing 32 minutes. Like, I think he's just kind of back. He is very clearly, to me, the best option on the DraftKings side. If you're going to play anybody else, it's Drew and Giannis. Surprise, surprise. 11.9 for Giannis on DraftKings, 11.6 on FanDuel. Drew is 8K and 8,300. To me, those are really the only 3 guys that you can play from Milwaukee with any sort of priority. On the Golden State side, there's not a lot here either. They look better on FanDuel. Curry 9,900, where he's 10.8 on DK. Greatly prefer the FanDuel price, obviously. Clay looks all right at 6,900 and 6,800. Draymond on FanDuel at 6K with power forward center eligibility is probably my favorite FanDuel guy. And then Jordan Poole's okay. Nothing too wild there. Hard to want to go to the bench either. 2 games down. Not a lot of value or interesting plays. I'm guessing Houston could free that up a little bit, but Pels Utah will also be interesting. Let's get ourselves to the Phoenix Suns, 6-point favorites in Houston, 225 total. And for the 108 of you that are in here, hit that like button. Would help out a ton. Alrighty. So for Phoenix, no Devin Booker, no Cam Johnson, no Dwayne Washington, obviously no Jay Crowder. No Devin Booker is obviously huge here. So let's think this through. They didn't play on Sunday. We got 34 minutes out of Chris Paul these past 2 games. At the very least, I'm going 33 to Paul. And then Cam Payne is getting that backup run. DeAndre Ayton is getting 32 minutes. And then did Jock Landale play alongside of him? 53. Did they go to OT? Yeah, OT. So Jock Landale gets the straight backup run. And then it starts to get pretty weird. So on Sunday, who started? Bridges, Paul, Ayton, Saric, Craig. Okay, so we're assuming it's Saric. Saric played 21 minutes, so I'm guessing he just never saw the floor in the fourth quarter or overtime. Would I be right? Basically. More or less. I'm going to go to 22 on Saric. That's pretty easy. Other minutes for the 4 would be I mean, that's just going to be either Bridges or Torrey Craig, whoever you want to call it. We'll call it Torrey Craig for now. So we'll go 26 here for Craig. Probably gets to 34. Oh no, he probably played. He played the 5 minutes in overtime. So let's go to 30 on Torrey Craig. I mean, obviously we're going to 36 at a minimum on Mikal Bridges. Bridges played 44 and a half minutes. So I'm going to go to 37 on Mikal Bridges. And that leaves us everybody else. So Damian Lee ended up playing 34 minutes. Sort of the Booker pseudo replacement off the bench, and then closed and played OT. Doesn't shock me all that much. So we're going to give him like 25 minutes. Still have 30 left over. We got to give Cam Payne additional run. Clearly, he's going to play alongside Chris Paul a bit. Let's get him up to 22. And then there's 23 minutes left over for some combination of Josh Okogie and Landry Shamet. Probably too many minutes for those guys. Don't really know who else I would bump up. So let's give Landry Shamet, I don't know, something like 16 and then 7 to Okogie. That should be fine. Clearly, we need to get rates with no Devin Booker around. Unfortunately, it's going to be mildly limited because of Chris Paul being out. Like, Booker doesn't really miss a ton of time. So we're going to say Devin Booker off. But we also want games where Paul and Eaton and Mikal Bridges all played. I don't think that sample is going to be very big. Yeah, damn, that's a small sample. I'm going to add in last year, I guess, just to get an idea. Booker off, Paul, Ayton, Bridges played. A lot of minutes for Landry Shamet, which is interesting. All right, Chris Paul in those situations has a 22% usage rate. I'm not going to go too crazy because now he's older. So let's go 21.5 to Paul. Cam Payne usually has a pretty big one. He'll be staggering a bit from Chris Paul as well. So let's go to like 25. Or let's just go regular 25. Ayton. This is the interesting one. 350 minutes when those guys have played with, but when Booker's off the floor, 23% usage rate. I'll take him to 22.5. Sven, it would not matter to me if these people had names. Or, well, sorry. It would not, yeah, like, if this just said, like, player X, player Y, whatever, it wouldn't matter. Like, if we blinded everything, I wouldn't care at all. It would, if we blinded every player, the edge for the best people in the industry would go up dramatically. Because everybody else wouldn't know where to begin. Meanwhile, nothing, absolutely nothing would change for me. Honestly, I mean, maybe to be neutral. Because so many people just click names that they shouldn't click. Yeah, it would probably be neutral. I don't know. I'll hit Adam with that question. That's an interesting one. I'm going to bring that up. But for me, it wouldn't matter at all. It wouldn't change anything that I do. Be an interesting question for Adam, though. I definitely want to ask him that. I don't want to forget it. All right, Bridges doesn't really do anything from a usage perspective, even with these guys out. Torrey Craig surely doesn't. Where does that extra usage go? Is it Damian Lee? Is it Landry Shamet? It's not Shamet. Ain't Lee either. Wow, who? Where does this usage go? Chris Paul, Cam Payne, Ayton. All right, it used to go to JaVale. I guess I could take JaVale off too. Somebody's got to take these shots the Booker's not taking. Guess maybe I need to go a little bit higher to Chris Paul, maybe a little bit higher to Ayton. 5.5, 22, 23. Because it doesn't appear to ever be Bridges. And it's clearly never Torrey Craig. Like sometimes it's Jock Land. I'm just going to let this go. What do the assist rates look like? Yeah, I don't care if Jay Crowder would have been in. Jay Crowder doesn't affect usage. Same reason that I don't care if like Cam Johnson's in. I need to know where usage goes. If you don't have it normally and you don't have it after they're on, then it doesn't matter if I put you on or off the floor. You're just a bit player. Chris Paul's assist rate certainly goes up without Booker on the floor. That doesn't surprise me. The ball is just going to be in his hands. Cam Payne sees a giant assist drop. That doesn't surprise me either. Again, because the ball is in somebody else's hands. He's not running second units as much. Ayton stays the same. Bridges stays the same. Crowder stays the same. Rebounding, I don't even need to look at. So that's Phoenix. Clearly a great matchup against Houston. Now, for Houston, any injury news? No Jayshawn Tate. So everybody that's normally available for Houston is available in this one. Which means that we don't really have much to look at. Jalen Green in for 34. Kevin Porter Jr. in for 34. Nick says a backup. Yes. Fernando and Usman Garuba, center minutes. Yes. Garrison Matthews, yes. Eric Gordon plays 29 or 30 minutes. Jabari Smith plays 31. Yes. And yes. Kenyon Martin. I mean, this is just as standard of a rotation as you get for this team. So, Houston, looking good. Jalen Green, 7K. KPJ, 7,100. No problem getting to either one of those guys. They look a little bit worse on FanDuel, oddly enough. Just better scoring system for DraftKings. These guys cough the ball up a lot. Şengün, 5,800 on DraftKings. I think that looks pretty good. That's probably my favorite play from the Rockets. $5,800 Şengün today, 5-game slate. That would be my favorite play here. Now on the Phoenix side, again, no Devin Booker. It is Chris Paul season on DraftKings. You are jamming him into lineups. 6,200 on DK. Undoubtedly, unless we see something really crazy in these final two games, Chris Paul is your number one contender. Hiker with the super chat. Please discuss Stokastic lineup builder customization options. Thanks for all you do. Not that kind of show, but I guess I don't have a choice now. Just kind of not what we're doing for this show, but I appreciate the super chat nonetheless. This just sort of takes us out of what we're doing. That's more of a Discord question. Wow. I mean, like, Chris Paul looks good at 7,200 on FanDuel. It's crazy to me how good he looks on DraftKings. Bridges and Ayton would be the other two guys you would want to get to. I might actually have to play Torrey Craig today as well, which is kind of annoying. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to be able to do anything with the lineup generator right now because we don't have data right now. I'll just put it up on the screen quickly since I've talked about each team. But, I mean, there's not much to it. You're coming here to select your lineups for whatever site. If you're playing tournaments, you know, depending on the size of your contest, you know, or like if it's a cash game, you want chalky. If it's a small field tournament, you probably want chalky or balanced. Contrarian is going to be for more of a larger field contest. But there's nothing that I could actually show on the screen right now because we don't have NFL or NBA data right now. So I wish that I could do more here, but ultimately you're trying to choose lineups for whatever contest you're entering. You have the ability to swap out players if you'd like now. But I mean, it's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be simple. If you have any specific questions, please hop into our Discord. I think you'll be able to get a little bit more detail there. If I can't show anything, it makes it really difficult to talk through. 2 games left. 7:02. Hit that like button if you haven't done it already. New Orleans Pelicans, 2.5-point favorites at Utah, 233 total. Coffee sip. All right, for the Pels. No Brandon Ingram. Herb Jones back. So we're going to have to start this rotation from scratch. So we're going to say CJ in for 35 minutes, I guess. 34? Go 34 on Siege. Herb Jones probably playing like relatively limited minutes. I'm going to go to 28. Joval, I mean, minutes. He's playing alongside of Nance, which certainly helps. 52 minutes, 57 minutes here. One of these games was an OT game, right? The most recent one, actually. I'm going to go 23 to Joval. Matchup against Utah probably fits a little bit more. I'll go 24. We'll also get Larry Nance in for his 24. I'm going to assume that Larry Nance also plays like 2 minutes alongside of him. We're going to go straight away 35 minutes for Zion. Dude is so good. So good. What's his true shooting this year? He just gets to the rim. 66% true shooting. Shooting 67% at the rim. One of the best offensive players in basketball. It's fun to watch, man. That guy is so good. So good. Love it. Love it. If he stays healthy, I win my Zion Williamson ass tattoo bet with Lofty. So easy. Not MVP. Not even close. Not even close. Don't think he could ever win an MVP. Don't think he'll ever have enough usage. It would end up being really weird. He would need to, like, that 28% usage would probably need to get into the 30s. The 3 would have to come around a little bit more, and so would the defense. Because I don't think he's ever going to get to, like, the volume of a Luka, Steph type guy. Like, I think he would top out. Like, I think his offense is more valuable, as weird as that sounds, but I don't think he would have to top out as, like, Dame level offense. I know that those are 2 different players, but, like, that's sort of like a peak for him. No one can guard him. No one can guard him. But I'd be very surprised if he won an MVP. Because he's just not going to play like that in the... He's also never going to play that many games in the regular season. Like, he's just always going to be slightly limited. Yes, it will. I mean, I hated the trade. And now I hate the extension like 100 times more than the trade. I don't know what they were thinking for CJ. It was so short-sighted for no reason whatsoever. All right, Trey Murphy's going to play 32 minutes. All-Star Game MVP? He can win that every year. That game is perfectly set for him. Look, like, I think Zion is good. I think that he could be the best offensive player on a championship team very easily. I just don't think his skill, like what he does, fits the MVP conversation, because I just don't ever think that he's going to play like 74 games in a season. And you're kind of going to need that. Like, if you get Jason Tatum out there playing 74 games of two-way, Like the gap in offense is never going to be the same, and Jason Tatum's just going to get more credit for defense. The Pelicans would have to be the number 1 seed by like a mile. Yep, totally agree, SMP. It's not hard to find CJ McCollum type players. And I don't mean to like diss CJ McCollum, but we're talking about a guy that's never been an all-star. Like, it's just not, I don't like it. All right, let's finish the rest of this New Orleans rotation. Dyson Daniels been playing a lot more. That's certainly going to go away if Herb Jones is back. So we got to get Alvarado in for 20 minutes. Get to Dyson Daniels in a second. Najee Marshall. I mean, those minutes are going to come down with Herb Jones. Does he leave the rotation entirely once Brandon Ingram comes back? Probably, right? Does Devontae Graham leave the rotation today? The trade caused them to extend him for no reason. It's awful. Awful, awful, awful. It's going to hurt them bad moving forward. Be ready for this. CJ McCollum's got a 49% true shooting this season. He has been legitimately terrible. 31 and a half years old. Only going to get worse from here, and the money gets worse and worse. You got to remember, the Pelicans have 1 million draft picks coming up from trades, including the Lakers pick coming up right now. If you're willing to make a trade for CJ McCollum, make a bigger trade for someone better. Why not? Just throwing this out there. Unleash every single thing you had there and see if you could pry Shai Gilgeous-Alexander away from Oklahoma City. Like, if you're willing to make the trade for CJ and extend him as a guy that doesn't like really fit this current timeline, unload on a guy that fits the timeline. You have the assets there. Why give up anything and then lock yourself into CJ McCollum? It's not like they didn't have anything else and it was like they can make one move and they can try to get CJ. It was so unnecessary. Because now you're going to have to attach draft picks to get off of him in the future. Who then? All right, let's see. Point guard, shooting guard. Because really, you don't really... Like, you kind of want your point guard for the Pelicans to be like the Mario Chalmers of the team. The ball should be in Zion's hands a lot and Brandon Ingram's hands a lot, and not that third person. So, I mean, if Halliburton was as available as he was, the level of fit that he would have been is staggering. Like, Fred VanVleet. Like, I'd rather have Fred VanVleet on this team than CJ McCollum by a mile. I'm just scrolling through everybody right now. Like, even someone simple like... I like the idea of DeAnthony Melton being the pseudo point guard, the guy that guards ones and twos here. Like, that just didn't need to be what that was. I mean, Alvarado is sort of like your pseudo Melton there too. I mean, I think they should just start Jose Alvarado when they're healthy. Everybody's available, guys. Brandon, everybody's available if you're the New Orleans Pelicans. You have a coffer of picks, including the Lakers picks, moving forward. They have picks. They have the ability to get essentially anybody I name. If you want to overpay, look, those Rudy Gobert type deals are out there for the Pelicans. They can unload a clip. They've got all their own picks, plus a shit ton of swaps and bullshit from the Lakers, and a bunch of young players. They can have anybody they want. They chose CJ McCollum. You could let it rip on so many dudes. Look, would I have made this deal if I'm the Pelicans? No. But they could have gotten Donovan Mitchell. You want to really make this move? You can do these things. Right. They chose not to do that. I'm not saying they didn't call around. They chose not to use their bullets differently. They chose to use them for CJ McCollum. That is going to hamstring them moving forward. All to do nothing last year. CJ McCollum was already under contract for next year at $35.8 million. They signed him in September and tacked on 2 more years and $63 total million to that deal. In no way, like if you just made CJ McCollum a free agent before this season started, he's not signing a 4-year, 140 or 4-year, 140 million. What is it? 33.3, 35.8, 33.3, 30.6. If you made CJ McCollum a free agent before this season started, he was not signing a 4-year, $133 million deal. That just was not happening. No one else is giving CJ McCollum 4 years and $133 million before this season. You were bidding against nobody and you extended him for no reason. Now you're going to have to pay to get off it. That's going to look like Tobias Harris by the time it's over. That's not a comp you want. It's rough. It's rough. It is a lot of oxygen to spend on CJ McCollum, but the problem is, like, they're pot committed to CJ McCollum now, and we're seeing Zion and be healthy. If Brandon Ingram ends up healthy, that's a 1-2 punch you could get to offensively. You probably don't want your third best guy there to be CJ McCollum. Just saying that. Invest in trying to get a center that actually fits this team. Like, Larry Nance works, but Larry Nance is also not going to be able to play 34 minutes a game. Get Joval the hell out of there. I mean, this was the team that's been talked about trying to trade for Miles Turner for 4 years, since the moment they drafted Zion. That is not a difficult trade to have made in the past. I think CJ's a nice third option. I agree. The problem is he's making $35 million a year for the next 4 years. That means somebody else. Let's not forget here, this is New Orleans. They are the worst NBA market in the league. They're not going into the luxury tax and eating $100 million in tax payments. This is a team that can't afford to be dumb with their salary, and they were exceptionally dumb with their salary. This isn't like they don't have Steve Ballmer just cutting and Bob Meyer just cutting $400 million luxury tax checks. This team is more likely to get moved to Seattle. Mitchell Robinson would not be a good fit. It's a terrible fit. It's the exact opposite of what they should do. There's a reason that Larry Nance closes games for the Pelicans. Look, they are hamstrung. This team has no money, and they're giving it all to CJ McCollum. That is a gigantic mistake. The margins are so slim when you play in New Orleans. think we're good. Who am I missing? Oh, yeah, Dyson Daniels. Yeah, shame Dyson Daniels is going to lose out on some minutes here. That's the Pelicans, which we started, I think, 20 minutes ago. That's fun, though. Like, I hated the trade. But you can make the trade and then be like, all right, let's see what we have after CJ. And then, if we need to extend him, we have his bird rights when the contract runs out. I can get behind that. They didn't give up all that much. The coffers are still full. To extend him, it just destroys the team. I can hand wave the trade because ultimately, I don't think it's the biggest issue in the world. Yeah, I mean, being first in the league is the most meaningless thing that I could hear. That is ultra not interesting to me. Look, Joval can't play in the playoffs. That's they have a starting center that is unable to be played in the playoffs. So they got to lean more on Larry Nance. After that, it gets kind of dicey. They're irrelevant for they could win the West by 10 games. They're irrelevant in the playoffs this season. I would never take a bet for the Pelicans to win anything of relevance right now. They don't have a playoff roster. We see it every year. Extending Zion and convincing him to stay are two different things. Everybody extends. Everybody likes money. Utah. See, this is the type of shit I wish I could just talk about it all day. I love it. The transactional nature of the NBA. It's like DFS. And this is going to sound really, really rude, but the same problems that people make in DFS are the same problems that exist in creating NBA teams. There's a finite amount of money that goes around, and you need to fit your pieces into a financial structure and maximize that as much as possible. And when people start giving up value for no reason whatsoever, you make it really, really difficult to get to the top. It's the same exact mechanism. And I see the same mistakes in chat for team construction in the NBA as I do in DFS. I don't mean that to sound like it does, but there's no other way around it. Maximizing resources is something that people just do not understand. Utah Jazz. Conley in, Clarkson in, Markkanen in. They shouldn't be trying to win now. That's the problem. Maximizing your 2023 is just going to get you not in the NBA Finals. Zion Williamson is 22 and a half years old. Brandon Ingram is 25. Why are you investing multiple years in CJ McCollum? Joval, 30 and a half. You have the options to go out and bring these guys together in a better way. Joval can't play defense, Don. If they get into a pick and roll team and he's in drop coverage, Golden State beats the living piss out of New Orleans if they're healthy in the playoffs because they're not going to be able, Joval's just going to get played clean off the floor. You're going to need Larry Nance to be able to play 34 minutes a game. Or, that's your only option. If the Pelicans, this matchup, if the Pelicans somehow get matched up against, Utah in the first round, they're going to be okay. But any team that's running a pick and roll, you can't bring Joval out. Or otherwise, they're going to get picked apart. There's a decent chance that if New Orleans somehow had to play the Pelicans, let's say it's the 2-7 matchup or 3-6, something in the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if Joval didn't see the floor for the final 2 or 3 games. All right, let's project this Utah team before we're here till midnight. Mike Conley. Conley did return on Friday, played 24 minutes. Did not play on Saturday on the back-to-back. I'm going to go to 28 on Conley. That seems reasonable. Jordan Clarkson, I mean, a bunch of these guys didn't play on Saturday. So I'm going to assume that Jordan Clarkson's just playing 35 minutes like he had been. I'm going to assume Lauri Markkanen, who has missed the past 3 games, but is now off the injury report. Markkanen had been out with illness. I'm going to give Markkanen 34 minutes. The problem with Ben Simmons as a center is that he doesn't really play center defense. He doesn't, like, he's more, what you want him to be doing is sort of more of like a rover. Again, Ben Simmons would be a really good fit along a Miles Turner type center that, sort of like the way that Giannis and Brook Lopez play together, where you can have Turner in a drop, but if he comes out, it's Ben Simmons coming from a weak side, not as like the main rim protector. Ben Simmons isn't really the best rim protector for what you're looking for in the NBA. But having him as a weak side rim protector and then just guy that's 6'10" and everywhere is more interesting. To get to like the upper echelons. All right, what else do we have here for Utah? So Kelly O just plays like 32 minutes. I mean, Jared Allen would be a good fit in New Orleans because he's just a better basketball player than those guys. But I don't think that truly like fixes any problems. Like, he's better just simply because he's better than what they have. But I don't think that unlocks their ceiling in any way. Like, the fit with him and Zion is still not good offensively. It just so happens Jared Allen is like multiple iterations better than Joe Val. Again, the whole key here is that I don't disagree that he's a really good third option. The New Orleans Pelicans themselves can't afford to pay a third option like him the money that they're paying. They basically need Larry Nance to be as healthy as he possibly can. And even then, I don't think that you can totally get, like, you need a second version of that. Yeah, I mean, if it's CJ this year, it's a loss of a trade too. He's been unequivocally terrible the whole year. I don't know if that's injury or just getting back from whatever the hell was wrong with him, but like, if it's this CJ, no one can argue for it. He's just actively bad. All right, let's get Kelly O in there for 31. Get Walker Kessler in for those backup runs. Guys are still playing alongside each other. I mean, every team needs a good backup center, but Brandon Clark is also not that guy. Brandon Clark works because of Jaren Jackson or whatever stretch 4-ish dude exists. All right, Utah. This is fun, guys. I'm enjoying this. It's probably not great DFS content. We're up to 211 people, so shit, maybe it is. Thanks for being here, folks. We're going to go 25 minutes to Jared Vanderbilt. I'm going to give Walker Kessler another 5. What the hell am I missing here? Rudy Gay. Gay gets 15 minutes. And then we need to get Beasley. I mean, oh God. What's Beasley get? Like, what can you hope for Beasley? 28? Not Leandro Balmaro. Go 28 to Beasley. That leaves me 22 minutes for some combination of Nickeil Alexander Walker, Talen Horton Tucker. Sure. 11 apiece. No, we'll go 14 and 8. Good enough. I don't have any rates to change. I had all these guys in on Friday, so this actually looks good to me. Finally got through Utah and New Orleans 25 minutes later. I thought this show was going to go quickly. I'd be happy to look like Joe Val. Now, on this is going to be fun. For the New Orleans Pelicans, I think CJ McCollum at 6,900 is the best option you can get from New Orleans today. How's that? That's an interesting way to bring this back around. Feel free to get to Zion if you can. I don't love a lot here from the Pels, but $6,900 CJ is probably my preferred option. For Utah, I think Markkanen for 7,900 is really good on DraftKings. I think Kelly Olynyk for 5,900 is pretty good on DraftKings. FanDuel, the pricing is just not as good. Not all that interested in Utah. And now we close it out with quite the late night hammer, a game that should look legit awful. Boston Celtics taking on the Los Angeles Lakers, 233.5 total. Give me 1 second, folks. What do we know for Boston? We know Horford's out, having the birth of his 5th child. And we got to show up for that, bro. 5, man, you get it. It's whatever. Play the game. So, no, cancel. For Boston, Robert Williams questionable. That's something. At least we don't have to start Blake Griffin again today. Maybe. I'm going to assume that Time Lord's playing. And we're going to get 20 minutes out of Time Lord today. We're going to get 20 minutes out of Blake. Maybe we get like 8 minutes out of Luke Cornett. We get the 30 out of Grant Williams. Get the 37 out of Tatum. On Barbs, I agree. I completely agree. I would love it. Josh, I always thought you were great at NBA DFS slates, but I think you missed your calling as an NBA front office guy. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for the super chat. Trust me, that would be the dream job. That would be the dream job. Daryl Morey, hit me up, man. You follow me on Twitter. We've DM'd. Bring me on, man. Bring me on. I'll come in for that. Whatever you need, man. Do I got to come back to Philly? I'll do it. I'll do it. $36 minutes for Jaylen Brown. Looks good. Marcus Smart in for 34. Derek White's minutes just coming down faster and faster. We'll give him 22. Get Brogdon in for... This is a back-to-back. Is Brogdon going to sit this back-to-back? We got to keep an eye on this. If Malcolm Brogdon sits, I think Derek White's going to become a little interesting today. Has Brogdon played any back-to-backs? Does anybody know? me look at that quick. Malcolm Brogdon game log. Basketball reference. All right. Definitely didn't play the one on the 5th. Did play the back-to-back 27th and 28th. So, leaving him in for his normal run then. Don't be surprised to see it, but I don't think he's going to be playing. And then we'll go 10 minutes to Sam Hauser. Rates don't have to change for me. But for real, welcome back, Time Lord. Because that's kind of awesome. He's really, really good. And I want that dude to be healthy for the playoffs because he's really, really good. For the Lakers, what do we got? Hopefully a team that we don't have to play. No Wenyen, Gabriel, LeBron in, AD in. This should be pretty easy. 35 minutes here for LeBron. I'm making it 36. Dude just plays all the time. 35 minutes for AD. I'm okay with that. 28 for Schroeder, sure. 25 for Bev, sure. 27 for Russ, sure. 28 for Reeves, probably a minute short. Take him 29, won't matter. 29 for Lonnie Walker, that'll work. Thomas Bryant in for 13. Troy Brown in for something. All good. No changes for the Lakers. This is easy. Lakers are always easy. Pricing has recovered. LeBron James, 9,800 on DraftKings. Finally, in my opinion, rosterable. I actually like LeBron today. I don't mind him for 10-4 on FanDuel. AD, 11-1 on DK, probably appropriately priced. 12K on FanDuel. Power forward center, not the worst price tag in the world. I'm actually going to get to LeBron and AD today. That is insane. I never get to those dudes. On the Boston side, I mean, obviously, we can't go to Robert Williams. I just don't think he's going to play enough. Tatum and Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown's up to 9,200 now. A lot of bloom off of that price. I mean, think about this. That guy was like 8,100 like 2 weeks ago. So stupid. I think Marcus Smart for 5,900 is the best play you can get to. Well, we made it. It only took an hour, but we made it. Let's check out. Let's hit that like button first. We've got 200 people in here. We're up to 87 likes, so we got to get up to 100. Let's see what this looks. SMP, you don't think that Luke Cornett can slow down AD? I mean, the problem here for the Lakers is that you just send doubles automatically on AD. What are they going to do? Rotate the ball to Dennis Schroeder or Russ? Like, it's a good team that, like, it's pretty easy for the Celtics to send doubles, rotate, and be okay. Why am I in the NFL? All right, FanDuel. He is a unicorn. That is a true statement. That is a true statement. All right, let's get FanDuel Optimals. What do we have on FanDuel for the optimal lineup for today? We have 303.83. This is the optimal by 0.16. Chris Paul, DeAnthony Melton. I don't love that. We'll have to have a bigger conversation there. Jalen Green, Torrey Craig, Mikal Bridges, Tari Eason. Well, at least you can know where the value is. Giannis, Draymond Green, and Alperen Şengün. I can't lie. That is not at all what I was expecting to see here. Not in the slightest. I mean, I guess I think that Giannis is the best option of pay-ups today. But, Power rankings on FanDuel. What do we got? I mean, no surprise to me in that Chris Paul is your number one contender. And then Torrey Craig and Mikal Bridges are, I don't want to say hot on his heels, but they are second and third. This FanDuel slate is a million flavors of gross. Paul Bridges, Craig, Jordan Poole, Chris Middleton, Jalen Green, DeAnthony Melton, Drew Holiday, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson. That might be the worst crunch I've ever seen. That is so bad. It's so bad I don't want to play FanDuel now. It's just absolutely an abomination. Now, optimal lineup on DraftKings, 284.31, optimal by 0.54. Chris Paul, Damian Lee, Middleton, Nance, Şengün, KPJ, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton. I mean, LeBron's the best pay-up option on DraftKings today. I think that's kind of clear. I think you can make a case it's Giannis, but you're paying up in a different way. Really like LeBron today. Chris Paul, I'd be shocked if he's not the number one dude here when we run this power rankings crunch. I think it was DraftKings, right? Yeah, he had the stupid price. That would be the correct assessment. Chris Paul is going to be your number one contender on DraftKings. Chris Middleton is going to be number 2. Not a lot of wiggle room there for me. And then it starts to get pretty bleak. DeAndre Ayton, Kelly Olynyk, Kevin Porter Jr., Damian Lee, Marcus Smart, Alperen Şengün, Tobias Harris, Drew Holiday, and my boy, CJ McCollum. This is a slate, folks. This is a slate. The only thing that gets better than this slate is this deal right here for BetMGM. If you are in a legal betting state and you have not signed up at BetMGM yet, please click the link below. It's in the description. Head on over, make a deposit. Now, you got to put in at least $10, but my recommendation is to put in quite a bit more because your first bet is a risk-free bet up to $1,000, which means you can take a pretty good shot. You can even take a shot on a pretty sizable underdog if you want. That bet wins, you just move forward in your day like it's nothing. You just keep that money like it's all good for you. And if it loses, they will just give you that bet back in free bets for BetMGM. But it doesn't stop there. You guys can also get 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. At some point in time, this deal is going to go away. To get a risk-free bet up to $1,000, to get access to everything we have, projections, ownership, boom bust. The only thing it doesn't cover is Fantasy Cruncher, which you can still add on if you would like. It's a paid add-on. It's a no-brainer offer, folks. Don't sleep on this because when it goes away, it goes away. Well, folks, another day up. Another day up. Another day down. We're back again tomorrow for the process. Absolutely. Going nowhere. We're through 2 days. I'll be on the strategy show with Adam in like 2 hours. I'll be on the deeper dive later tonight with Adam for another hour. So you're getting a lot of myself. You're getting a lot of Adam share. Can't really ask for anything better. It's the best in the industry, folks. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if you haven't done it yet, please. Because this, guys, was the process.